Oh, I see her. She's right
We're
here.
there, guys. So I'm gonna. Oh, it is public now. Good.
All right, so I could share
You
it
can
now.
share it, and I'm gonna share it too.
Is that 6-9? What? 609.
Better?
Oh no.
Jim, I'm putting it on yours.
807. Yeah, that's better. I can see it. 2492.
Hello, hello, hello.
We've got the music. They're ready to go.
I'm fine. The volume's down, right?
Yeah, your volume needs to be down.
Yep.
Is it on your page?
What?
Is it on your page?
Yep.
Oh. I'm putting it in my health blog.
You still hear that? That fan is loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fan is loud.
I don't need anything.
I can turn it off.
Yeah, yeah, because it's loud.
2492.
It's just there. It's cool, but it's cool in here now. I can't wait to get them.
That's the best thing about cleaning up, is that you don't
Right,
get hot anymore.
that's right.
It's weird. I could be in the desert
And you'll be good.
and I'll be like, all right, this is okay.
What? What is it for?
I'm not like finding it.
It's on your wall, Jim.
On my wall, okay. Let's see if I can. Oh, here we are. Okay.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Let's go there.
Jared, does Papa's take credit cards?
No.
It has it has an ATM machine in it, so you just go there.
But I can't.
You can't order, no.
Is it credit card?
Oh, to order? No, I thought you meant.
Oh, for order you can use it?
No,
Freeze or order.
they have
So
it.
they have to get cash out
Yes,
and
I thought you meant if you went there. Hey guys.
You going on 5 o'clock, Jim?
Hey everybody who's watching. We're gonna be starting in about 6 minutes, guys. Hi Tamira, love you, girlfriend. Hey everybody, Dario, Andrew. Woo! You're gonna love this show, guys. Bobby Buns is back.
Yeah. Excited. All we have to do is reach one.
That's right. One
person
person.
out of all 10 of you.
Listen, I'm thinking of a challenge. You know what I'm saying, baby?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to challenge myself, too.
Okay.
Let's do something.
Okay. Let's do it.
I got a fridge filled with celery, ready to go. When's the next show? With Bobby Bones.
Second week.
Growth
The
Within.
second Tuesday.
Se-
The second week in next month.
Next month, okay.
All right. So I have you down for the second Tuesdays.
Oh,
Second
okay. So we're locked in on that?
Yes.
Okay. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe I have to.
Hey, Chrissy. Hey, Jean. Jean Lore. I didn't actually graduate school with him. We grew up together in Long Island City as kids. Hey, sweet pea. Isn't Facebook amazing?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, think about that.
All the connections you can make.
From 100 years
Which,
ago. We were kids, 12 years old.
Top one?
I think it's,
Crazy.
Gene, it's HM, wait, Ashbet.
What
I
do you
just
need?
lost it. The Wi-Fi, which one is it?
HR media guest
That-
with the,
With the dot, with the
Dot, with the
dash?
dash.
Okay.
Gene, we're going to be
HR media
starting
guest
With the
one.
dash.
in 5
Right
minutes.
there.
Where'd it go?
Right there.
Oh, okay.
Cool, right?
And then,
With the nails.
yeah, I know, right?
Password.
Password?
Same thing,
I don't know.
guest with the number one.
Oh,
Same
just the
thing,
name guest?
lowercase,
Capital? No?
no
Alright.
dash.
I was
All
trying
right,
to
so
find
this word,
your,
no dash, with the number 1 at the end.
Video
Oh,
for
capital. Okay, sorry.
Oh, in practical jokes, just to mirror.
One?
I never did that.
Right?
No.
That's it.
I think
it
it's
takes me
eight-
forever. I
The
find it
password
all
is
the time, but
HR
then I'm
Media
like-
Guest 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the whole thing, yeah.
So, Jim,
Yeah, honey.
all right, so Gisela, go in your phone.
¿Qué pasó?
I want you to go to Impractical Jokers and put the word Mira in.
Impractical Jokers on YouTube?
Yeah, Mira. And he's going to pop up and show it. You don't have to have it on volume, but you could watch it. It's hysterical. Bobby Buns.
Smoke mirror.
Is it called Smoke Mirror? Or is it just called Mirror?
That one, that's the first one.
That's it?
I
No.
show Jimmy.
Wanna hold it?
This is him when he was heavy on Impractical Jokers.
Oh, that's when they did the study on you?
No.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Forward it a little bit
All right.
till you get to him.
Yeah, well, I'm like, well.
That's not you,
there
is
I
it?
am, yep.
All right.
That's you jumping?
Yeah.
And get Sal smack me in the ass.
Why are you jumping?
It was Impractical Jokers.
I know.
They had the guy watching it.
That's funny.
That was great.
Want me to do it for you?
Yeah, please, because, like,
Okay.
you could do it better with nails than I can
Yes,
with fat
right.
fingers.
You need to get Sal to call in sometime.
Sal.
I think I have a better chance of getting
He's
Sal to call in.
he's,
You know, that's what I did, man.
James, so yeah, I'm trying.
he's so famous now.
James released them.
And that's being polite.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Famous.
Beautiful. Amazing. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I mean, did you know the other people too, or was it just Sal?
No, I mean, well, Sal was my partner,
Are
so
you
we
guys,
were
do you guys
married.
need air? Jimmy,
But
do you
the
need
other
air?
guys, yeah,
fine.
they were around all
Are
the
you
time.
okay?
Yeah.
James
All right.
is so
Because if you need air, just
Why,
tell
you're from
us.
Staten Island?
Murray's a good shot again. Yeah, born
What
and
part?
raised. Rosebank.
I contacted him through email.
Fort Lauderdale.
See how he would go. He just released the book.
What's that?
Awaken, Murray.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
I lived in Eltingville for 19 years.
Catch
Oh,
up.
South Shore.
Yeah.
How come up? How's the volume up?
Dan,
Yeah.
19 years in
I
Brooklyn,
need
19
you
years
for
in
1
Staten
minute.
Island, 5
when
years in
your
Jersey.
dad plays my
My
theme
wife can't
song,
wait to
can
get
you
out here.
put this so
Yeah,
they could see
me
this?
too. Well,
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't
Couldn't
wait.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Guys, we're going to play the theme song
Yeah.
in 1 minute.
She's,
We're going to start. 1 minute,
already
guys.
bitching.
The only good thing is if you have a house, you could buy a really nice house out here for what you have.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, we live in a little house that's
come
close to $1
on,
million.
Hmm?
That looks like my time.
Size of a garage.
That's you?
No, it's the same. Is it? I mean, is it running the same?
I hear, babes.
Yeah.
That's your Bitmoji?
Okay. Just
Yeah.
wanna make
It's
sure.
a little slow. See, that's live.
Make sure you
Oh,
see the
okay.
words,
And
too.
this is
Here.
slow.
That's what I was looking
Yeah.
at.
So there's a delay between
Okay.
that and this.
Do you
Time
already
is it?
have this
We almost off.
Or is
Yeah,
this
1 minute to 5.
I got everything ready to go. Don't
29:30?
don't touch anything, I got it.
All right, so Dan, here, take this. Dad's doing it, right?
What he wanted me to do.
Danny, would it be mean for me to ask you to spill like some out and add water to this?
Yes,
for me?
afterwards. She has to
Well,
do
could
this.
she do this? Like, get it out of here? Because it's like sugar I'm drinking.
alright.
I said unsweetened. And it's,
Put it on the chair behind you.
But
'cause we-
there is no chip.
No, over here, Gisela. Put it down there. It's fine.
oh, no. I'll leave it here. When she's ready, she'll take it.
Everybody loves me.
I'm just
Um,
thirsty.
All right, Jerry, we're gonna start.
Okay, there you go.
Uh-oh.
30 seconds.
Higher. Bring it higher. Little lower. There you go. That's good.
The Bitmoji is
That's
it's got the
funny.
question on her face.
Well, I wanted,
You want it all the way up to the camera.
but I want them to choose one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito. too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Love's the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on HamiltonRadio.net. So, my little cartoon guys that Danny was dancing with says choose wisely. So tonight's show really is going to be cool because we're going to be talking about different choices people make. And I'm going to read a couple poems to you, but I'm going to have my guests introduce themselves to you because Bobby Buns is back, and we're going to probably be doing the second Tuesday of every month because I love this guy and his story is unbelievable. So introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, Bobby Buns from Raw Fruit City. I love plants. I am powered by plants.
Gisela Bella.
Hello, I'm Gisela Bella from Animal House Radio Show, and I'm here supporting my good friend Geri.
I love you, girlfriend.
I'm Jimmy Poe, and I'm ditto. I'm supporting my friend Geri.
So, Jim, tell everybody a little bit about you back in the day with your musical acting career.
Well, anybody from Mercer County or Bucks County and surrounding areas would, if you remember the band Zai or a few of the other bands I was in. We played a lot of the nightclubs in the area. Brothers Saloon, wish that was still around. That was a great place.
I loved it.
And Kenwood Tavern over in Bucks County, and the cabarets, Ambler Cabaret, and a few of the other cabarets we played. And that was back in the day when live music meant something around this area. It was fun back in the day.
But you were also in a play.
When I moved to Florida back in 2003, I started doing live theater and a lot of like Broadway style shows, and did that for 10 years. Loved it. It was there was no live music to sing in bands, so I used my my abilities and I incorporated to the stage. So I loved it.
So, do you still have those abilities to sing like a one-liner to "I Wish I Were a Rich Man" or whatever that was?
Of course I can.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
If I were a rich man, idle deedle daddle digga digga deedle daddle dum.
That's pretty cool. I love that. All right.
There you go.
So, Gisela, tell a little bit more about what you do, your jewelry, whatever. Come on, sweetheart.
Okay, I do it all.
You do it all, I know.
I do it all. Basically, I do jewelry on the side. I'm actually really focused on the radio show right now. I'm bringing it to the next level, so
Okay,
that's
good.
what I'm doing. And I think my biggest thing in life is networking.
Okay.
So,
That's
and
cool.
if you want to know what I did this year in my mind and how I changed for the better, is I put a saying in my mind. It says, "Don't just think about it, do it."
I love that.
So
the radio show.
that's what I'm
Carlo
doing.
Bolero, Animal House
Right.
Radio, HamiltonRadio.net, Wednesday nights. What time?
It's 8:30 to 10:30. We're comedic based, non-political, and celebrity driven.
Yep, I love your
Let's get
show.
Thanks.
Okay, love you, Carlo. So, real quick, in 5 minutes, I'm giving you a whole 5 minutes. I want you to tell everybody out there who you really are. I want you to tell everybody that you had a show, how heavy you were, what you've done with that, and about Impractical Jokers. Come on.
Well, yeah, I was on Impractical. Well, I had a music venue and a club, and I was always drinking and partying, and every night was a party. And my partner Sal became famous
Yep.
and basically gave me his share of the place, and I was like, okay, I was upset at first, but then I took it and went with it and ate and partied and did everything. I was able to get on his show and everything, Impractical Jokers. That
Yeah.
was All my friends became writers and producers on on the show as well, which was kind of crazy because just watching that whole thing happen
That is cool.
was wild. But I just was heavy, always heavy my whole life. And what really did it to me was my brother getting diagnosed with esophagus cancer.
Aw.
And that was a big eye-opener. And even before I had the club, I was starting to get into the veggies. I knew something was wrong, I was always going, what is wrong with me? And every time after I ate, I was depressed all the time. So I always knew something was wrong. But when he got diagnosed with cancer, I knew 100% it was his diet. It was because he lived off these certain things, like beer, cigarettes, weed, cookies, ice cream. There was I don't think he's ever had a vegetable in his life.
Wow.
So I knew it was toxic. I was like, please run away with me. But I was 325 pounds telling this kid to run away with me and let's go to Hawaii and go on a juice fast. And he thought I was crazy. So, I even was like telling the doctors, like, listen, don't cut this kid open. He's toxic. Don't, leave him alone. But in the end, he wound up passing. But he said something to me when we were in Florida, stuck with me forever. I was sitting we went to spring training. It was like his dying wish because he's a big Yankee fan. So we went to Florida for spring training. And he's rolling around. He barely slept. He looked at me. I felt him staring at me. And I opened my eyes. I was like, what's up? He's like, you're going to die before me. And, yeah, and
Wow.
Here he is filled with cancer. Because my sleep apnea was so bad, and being overweight and everything, so that was like big time awakening. And I was like constantly losing weight and getting healthy to help him, like in a weird way. Like, look, I'm doing it. Let's do it, But in the end, he wound up passing, and he's been my Jesus. He changed my life because the cleaner I got, the less I consumed. So that was the best thing in the world because as I'm cleaning up, I'm like, I'm realizing I don't need all this food. And, the more research you do and the cleaner you get, you just need a certain amount of, the higher the nutrition, the less you need. And that was the best thing in the planet for me because I was always hungry. Everything I put into my system was just not food. So I realized what food is. Like I thought pizza and chicken cutlets and I pasta. Like that's what I was eating all the time.
Raised.
Yeah, burritos. Just grossness. A lot of cheese, and my body was. I was obviously eating it, but it wasn't doing anything with it. It was just making me tired. And then when I woke, it was all about fasting because that's the cleaner I got. The less I needed, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to juice fast. Then when I went on a juice fast is when I started crying. That's when I saw the light. And I was like, holy crap, we don't need food at all. And now I've been just like running around telling people, stop eating. Like anybody who comes to me with anything, I'm like, this might sound crazy, but stop eating. And, or do it in baby steps. Like, I'll put them on like smoothies and salads at first, and then I'll like wean them into a juice fast. I call it the Raw Food City Reset. Yes. So it's like basically vegan, fat vegan, raw vegan, and then a week of juice. And it's like 20 days. The reset is insane. You feel great. So maybe we could do that as a challenge.
So, hey, everybody out there. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. A little bit about my background. I suffered from addiction back in the day. 27 years clean, guys. I also had 2 cancers, colon and breast. I cured myself without doctors through fasting. I went away and got certified in fasting. I've been all over the world for health tours, and I've learned everything pretty much there is to know in this country what's happened to our food. So what I want to say to you guys is this. This man is absolutely 100% correct. I went extreme. I had no choice back then. So I went on a 2-month water fast. No nutrients, no vitamins, no nothing. I had a home colonic system in my home. I mean, crazy. Saved my life. Okay, so the concept of fasting is this, because people out there who are going to watch this show tonight need to understand this a little bit. The concept of fasting is that, well, let me say this. Our grandparents, our great-grandparents, and some of our parents used to say, starve a fever, right? Well, they knew. And they didn't have Google back then. They just knew. They knew a lot more than we did. They were very smart, because if you did not put food into your body when you had a fever, which you had a fever because it was working to cure whatever was happening, you weren't interrupting the process. So fasting does this, guys. Your body still has to eat. You're putting it in a starvation mode. So you're forcing it to eat off of itself. So it will eat off of the cells. Your body will eat off of your own cells. This is how brilliant the human body is. It eats the sick cells first.
Yep.
So that's water fasting. Now,
The cancer cells are like chicken palm to
There
a
you go.
fasted state body.
there you go. Now, juice fasting. So then I did juice fasting, and I do one juice fast a year for 30 days. My dad was really sick the last few years, so the last couple of years I haven't done one, but I'm going to be getting back on track. He passed away a year ago. So I do a juice fast every single year for 30 days, okay? But here's the difference between the juice fast you're probably thinking of and what we do. So I have a Champion. I have 3 different juicers, but I use my Champion juicer because it doesn't have a spinning basket, so it can't heat up the nutrients, okay? I buy my own fruits and veggies, and they have to be organic, and then I make the juice, but then I strain the juice, because when I'm fasting, I don't even want pulp, because I don't want my body to have to do any work, because this is why. When you go on a juice fast like that, it goes immediately into the cells of your body, and it feeds them all. And that's kind of like what Bobby was saying about he wasn't really feeding his body. You could be putting garbage in, and you're getting full, but you're not feeding your cells. So your body continuously gets hungry and needs more. So that's the concept of it. So I'm going to read 2 poems for you. I've already written yours a couple times, so if you ever want to hear the great poem I wrote for Bobby, you can check out one of my other shows, Raw Food City, with him on as well, and then you'll hear that great poem, and it tells his whole life and what brought him to where he is today, and he talks a little bit about it. So here's these 2 poems. All right. Organic vegan. So let's talk food, about what you eat. Are you vegetarian or do you eat meat? What's all this hype about going green? What's all this noise? What does it all mean? Do you care about your planet? Do you care about your health? Do you care about others, maybe the way they felt? Or are you just so close to hearing another side? Staying in your comfort zone is a really safe place to hide. Because if you ever leave there and walk across the street, then you might lose your mind with the others you might meet. Open your eyes so you can see how life was meant to be. Open your eyes so you can see how life was meant to live. Stop just taking all you want with nothing left to give. Eating meat these days is really, really bad. All the crap injected, it really makes me mad. And also the abuse these poor creatures endure, torturing our animals so humans can make more. Money's not the answer to happiness in life. Trust me, I should know. More riches bring on strife. Don't say animals do not suffer and do not have a heart. Animals never torture you. That's what sets them apart. Your food source today is not even food. Organic and vegan will clean up your mood. But some of you don't seem to care how it's killing you. It's just not fair. It's because of you that this won't end. If others don't care, this world will not mend. The healthy way to eat to keep from being sick, organic, vegetarian, it's the option you should pick. So we'll talk about that poem, okay? Because I know it was a little harsh, but I wanted it to be harsh for a reason. And then I'll talk to you with love. All right, so now this one. Organic is the way to go. It's higher price, yes, this I know. It doesn't make sense to many of you. The reason is simple, to keep us sick too. It's cheaper to eat all the poison they sell, to add to our food so we don't stay well. They don't want us healthy, they want us real sick. It's your choice to make, but you better be quick. They're polluting our water, they're polluting our soil, our food source is toxic, makes my blood boil. If we ate more healthy, the doctors would yell, because then they'd be broke with no BS to sell. I stay away as much as I can. I'd rather listen to my body than any other man. Organic farmers are becoming more scarce. GMOs are the future. Health's a thing of the past. So wake up, America. Please take a stand. Our food source is vital, and so is our land. GMOs and pesticides were never meant to be eaten by a human being far back as I can see. So don't be governed by power and greed. You have a right to know what goes into your food source now, organic or GMO. So we're going to talk about all this, and I'm going to end also with a poem called Balance. So let's talk a little bit about that. So we want to meet everybody where they're at. We don't want to scare everybody into thinking, okay, guys, you have to go on an all-raw diet. Okay, guys, you have to be vegetarian. Okay, guys, you have to be vegan. That would be the perfect world, right? Because you and I believe that. But not everybody can just make that jump instantly.
Right.
So what would you like to tell people out there today who are very sick, who have a lot of health issues, but can't possibly just jump into all of it at one time?
Well, just start bringing in more salads and fresh veggies, like fruits. Like I think, you know, if you just eat more fruit too, you start breaking down.
That's right.
The mess inside, because it's all about moving that digestive
and enzymes.
system.
You can only get enzymes from fruit, guys. So that's why fruit is vital.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's for someone who's sick. It's not. Yeah. It's not a long-term thing. I don't really fruitarium and all that. I think we needed like a big mix of.
Yeah, of course.
Of especially like leafy greens, because you get like so many minerals and calcium and protein from leafy greens, like that people don't know about. That's the first thing they tell them right away, because usually that's the first question, right?
Where do you get your protein?
Where do you get your protein from?
Honey, we get more protein in our leafy greens than you get in a 16-ounce steak.
Yeah, well, because they're burning the steak. You have to eat the steak raw.
And it's not really meat anymore. There's really not even protein in the way that they make the meat from the cows today.
Oh yeah, especially if you buy ground beef. Forget about it. If you're buying anything that's mushy, you're in trouble, because they're adding something to it.
That's right.
Yeah, but people are cooking.
Yep.
You know, so that's why Raw Food City is really trying to wean you off fire. That's because if you put your hand in fire, your hand will blister. And it's the same thing with food. When you alter your food, your body looks at it in a different way. That's the cleaner. Just eat God's food. So a lot of grapes, a lot of oranges, like that's what I would tell someone who was sick. Like, start bringing in that and weaning off of everything that's cooked.
God's Pharmacy, FARM.
Yeah, man. And back in the day, I'd probably be burnt at the cross, like if I was a witch or something. Because all those healers were, they were like, get rid of this person. There's no money in that. That's right. There's no money in fasting. There's no money in fruits and veggies, except for the farmer, I guess. But the doctor's not going to say, hey, you need an orange. It's not going to happen. He's going to prescribe you something. Right.
Hey, Carlo Bolero, Animal House Radio, guys, Wednesday nights, 8:30 on HamiltonRadio.net. We love you, Carlo. Hey, Kathy, everybody out there. So, guys, in the peanut gallery over there, you two.
Yeah. Well, I'm listening to you, and you know how I feel about being 100% vegan. But I am going to agree with you right now, because on my own,
there you go.
And even Jean knows, I've been eating just salad and fruit.
Oh, nice.
And it's funny, because Carlo, that's listening right now, I've been going to the produce store. And I know it's not organic fruit, but it's already sliced, and it's in my budget. It's $2.99. I could afford it.
There you go.
So I go there, and I buy it, and I eat it. And he's like, that's not lunch. You can't just eat that. But you know what?
Carlo, yes.
My mouth is dry because I'm sick, so I'm drinking, or I'm eating fruit. So I figured the fruit is kind of juicy, and so I'm eating that. The salad, the same thing. I haven't been eating any really bread or anything like that. I lost 30 pounds in a month.
Beautiful.
Nice.
And I do feel a little better,
So I want to comment on something you just said, because we grew up thinking we had to eat a certain way. And we grew up, our parents believing that you had to have 3 meals a day, and you had to make sure you had your meat, and you had to have bread, and you had blah, 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 blah. So it's amazing how do I say this? because of what we were taught. It's amazing how when someone tries to give us the truth and it's different from what we
Right.
were taught, we fight it and we go against it and we think just because we were taught it, it had to be truth.
Yeah,
It's crazy, right?
it's crazy.
Yep.
But it's common sense. Everything was common sense to me because because then you think about years and billions of years ago when we had no
They
Trader
had a
Joe's. and
farm.
It was just like you had to fast too. You had to.
Oh, they had to fast because of the winters. They didn't have their food. They couldn't grow anything.
And now the winter never comes.
That's right.
That's the scary part.
Okay.
Is that our bodies were meant to fast.
So people were heavier than we thought they were because their bodies also knew that they were going to have to store and they had to fast.
Yes.
And crazy things went on so naturally. It was amazing what the human body's capable of doing, right?
Yeah, and that's why we feast, because when we see food, especially free food, like if you go to a party or something, you always wind up eating more because it's in our biological to eat
when
more.
you see a lot of
When you see food, you're supposed to eat. You're supposed to fill up knowing that you're going to fast.
Okay.
But the problem is there's no fasting. No one's
right.
fasting anymore. You could probably eat as much as you just did, but don't eat for another week.
Right. Okay. But it's the truth.
Yeah,
People
that's the
you
thing.
guys out there are probably thinking we're crazy, right? But it's not, sweetie. It's not. We're not crazy.
Yeah.
When you're talking about our parents and our grandparents, if you think about it, they didn't have the foods that we have
There you
today
go.
that are poisoned, and
Thank you.
obesity was very a
Seldom.
lower rate than it is today, and much lower. I mean, ridiculous. So I think that today's foods and the profit and the greed and everything, it's just crazy that they put money in front of the health of people, and it's just ridiculous. But I had a question for you, Bobby. How do you get started? I mean, for a lot of people out there, they just don't know. Where do you begin? I mean,
YouTube.
really?
Believe it or not, find a mentor on YouTube because there's so many. Like, if you want to get healthy, there are so many amazing people right now putting the word out, and that's what happened to me. So I try to recommend. That's like my church. So every time, like, I feel like I'm like falling out of sorts, I start watching my YouTubers. Like they bring me back. And right now, I'm like trying to get super sexy, like, so I'm watching like
I love
vegan bodybuilders and stuff like that. So I'm trying to transform because I was really heavy and really loose, and I'm trying to like transform into that.
Every guy's dream, man.
Every guy's dream. I'm doing it
Every
through
girl's dream.
through plants, and that's what I feel like. The sexier you are too, the more word. It's sad, but you get the word out more.
So
Depending on how you
It's
look.
true.
So I have to add to that. So he was asking, like, how do you get started?
Yeah.
So what would you tell someone who really does want to get healthy and they want to get started, but maybe they smoke?
Well, no, it's okay. Simplify it. Like even with the
talk.
cigarettes too. Like that's why I was telling. My next door neighbor came down with CODP, whatever the hell that is,
Okay.
right?
COPD, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like it's the
Not
new
good.
thing, right? Everyone's getting
Absolutely.
this like precancerous, can't
That's right.
breathe thing, right? So, but he's gained 60 pounds in the past 4 years. So I'm like, Paul, smoke all you want. You need to just lose weight, and losing, you just need to eat better to lose weight. And the more, because it's so weird when you're like adapted to cooked foods, you look at fruits and veggies and you go, I just would rather pasta. I would rather something cooked. That's why cooked food really is a drug. It really is. Like I see even my kids,
It's absolutely a drug.
it's a drug, anything, because it's processed. We're processing it. We have to put it on fire. Like even when you put spinach in a fry pan with oil, you're processing this.
Right.
You're not eating it in its natural state. So start bringing in the fruits and veggies, even the sweet fruits, and breaking down. You just gotta break down the digestive. Once you start flowing,
Go ahead.
once everything starts
Then
flowing,
tell 'em.
then you just feel better, right? Because you got to get rid of. There's some people with 2 weeks of waste.
More than 2 weeks. Hold
I
on.
mean, I can't even,
But I can tell you because I've been there. So when I had the colon cancer and I had to get colonics and do all that, it's not 2 weeks. It's years.
It could be,
30 pounds.
yeah.
It's years because
Impacting into
there's
diverticulitis
there's
and
not
stuff.
an American today, that their body works exactly the way it should. Okay, it just doesn't happen until you change your life. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the average American. So years and years and years and years. When I first had to go through all this, and I used to go to New York and Philly for these colonics at this institution. It was unbelievable. It was like black snakes. Rubber was being cleaned off your intestines and
I
coming
did that
out.
one time.
I did it for years.
I found the serpent.
Yes, it was unbelievable. So it's years. It's not 2 weeks, sweetheart. Years.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, because stuff is sticking.
You know.
There's definitely, I definitely seen a crayon go through one of the colonic tubes
You know,
that I probably
crazy.
eaten when I was a kid. But
Craziness. So once you start eating like that, and once you start cleansing your body,
it just takes a few days.
will the if you're addicted to smoking, whatever, won't that curb?
Yeah, well, you'll
Go
start
ahead.
feeling
There you
better, and you'll actually not want to
There you
smoke.
go.
You'll want to walk outside.
right.
It's so weird when you start bringing in God's food. God gives you these other gifts
That's right.
because you start like falling in love with the sun again. Like there's some weird stuff that happens to you with the cleaner you get. Because now I could walk through the desert
Okay, I love
and
deserts.
be fine. Like I used to be.
Oh my God.
Heat used to swallow me up, and I felt like claustrophobic almost from heat. Now I love it. Like I'm not hot anymore. I get really cold though. That's the problem. Like I almost want the sun now. I want to move like more tropic areas because it's kind of weird what happens. Your whole chemistry changes. Your stomach changes too, and everything changes because you're once you start bringing in the fruits and veggies, that's all your body asks for, and then your brain sometimes will tell
There you
you
go.
because there's so much detox involved.
That's right.
I mean, I'm in it 2 years now, and I'm still coming off the
right.
crap.
So let's talk about the brain and let's talk about detoxing, because here's the problem, and a lot of people don't even know this, and this is a fact, guys. Nothing that Bobby Buns and I are telling you is an opinion from us. It's not an opinion. We've done a lot of research. We've lived it. Okay, so what we're telling you is true.
It's our opinion. It's an opinion, but
it's a fact.
But it's a fact. Like
Right.
we're living it.
We're living it.
Yeah.
So when you take in sugar, your brain thinks you're taking in opiates. Your brain thinks you're doing dope. So that's why 100% of addicts, I don't care what you're addicted to, okay, love sugar. And the sad part for me with that is when you're in rehabs and all that, they let you have all the sugar you want.
I have a
So
song about that.
Oh, can you sing it?
It's ridiculous. I have it on YouTube,
Okay.
but it's exactly that. It's like you go to
wait, I heard it.
AA. There's coffee and donuts on
That's
the
right.
thing. You go to NA. There's it's
right.
donuts and even church. There's drugs at
Every single
at-
get together.
And people don't look at that like drugs, but it's drugs.
Here's the sad part. Today, more than ever now, with sugar. So about in the 80s, there used to be sugar in Coca-Cola, real sugar. All right, there was, I want to say 9 1/4 teaspoons of real sugar in a can of Coke. Now it's high fructose corn syrup because that's even cheaper, more addicting, and more horrendous. So now it's not even sugar. So our food source is so tainted, and their only job, like I said in the poem, is to keep you sick, addicted, and so that they can make money. They can't make money if we're healthy. It's impossible.
Yeah, my God, if everyone was started eating like me, there wouldn't be war.
Can I add to that too?
You can add to it.
Robert, I want to add to that about you talked about the heat, and it's funny when I was doing the Atkins cleanse that once you start losing weight around your thyroid, your whole body, the temperatures like change.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. I mean, the cold is not cold anymore, hot is not hot, and you just feel comfortable. And then at the same time, you lose all your sweating. You sweat. It's all clean. It's all clean sweat because nothing toxic is coming out of you. And that's when you know you're at that pinnacle. And that only took me 30 days. So roughly anybody that does anything, if you get over that 30-day mark, that gives you striving for the next 30 days.
Oh yeah, I know it happens so fast. Like
Very
you're saying,
quickly.
30 days. Like to me, like once and as soon as you start fasting, it could be 4 days.
Now imagine what I would have been like without the meat. See, I did a modification of Atkins diet because they tell you to eat more meat because of protein.
Amazing.
But if I turned that into just all vegetables, my blood pressure went down. Everything was like normal, like when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Oh, and you feel like a kid.
Yeah, no carbs, no nothing. And at the same time, your life changes right before you.
I'm excited every day.
Well, my
I wake up
advice
now.
for anybody that wants to get started, I used to weigh 325 pounds, and
like me.
when I
That was
lived
me.
in Staten Island, I went through extreme measures. I had to go to Dr. Fursley, and I had gastric bypass surgery.
Oh,
So I went from 325 to 140, so like a 4-ounce stomach. This past year, I gained 85 pounds, so I had my stomach rechecked, so I'm at 6 ounces, okay? But when I was heavy before the surgery, and I made that one decision, because sometimes you just have to change one thing. So if you make a decision to keep something out of your diet, you'll notice. So I used to drink soda or iced tea or anything. So I stopped drinking all soft drinks, and I just had my water. And that year alone, just for that habit that I stopped, I lost 60 pounds.
oh wow.
So I think if you don't look at, if someone's really not looking to try the whole thing, they're afraid, do one thing at a time.
Yeah, baby
slowly
steps.
and
Baby
gradually,
steps.
Add to what
Well,
you're
that's
doing.
kind of what I did. So, like, if you want to go that route, that's what I did. I was vegetarian. I couldn't give up the cheese. Then I went vegan because I started figuring out cheese alternatives with cashews and stuff like that. Oh, I make the dopest cheese now. And then I plateaued as a vegan, and then I went raw. And when I went raw, this is when I started shedding, because then I was able to fast, and so it was weird.
So anyone out there who wants to do baby steps, we can guide you. My personality is all or nothing. So I went from boom to fasting before I even became a vegetarian. Just that was the first thing I did, which is crazy.
Me too. I did that.
Okay.
I juice fast in 2010. That was the first thing I ever did.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I did that. Then I got certified before I did it because people won't die. Listen carefully, guys. You will never die doing a fast. But if you do a water fast, at least 30 days, I can guide you. People have never died from fasting, but they have died from breaking the fast, a water fast. So that is what you have to really know what you're doing. So I'm not telling anyone out there to just go do a water fast. Okay? No way. Juice fasting. So then I became a vegan chef. And now I'm a certified health coach, so I can really help you guys. Anything you need or want, get in touch with us. We can help you. But I do want to say this. I'm the all or nothing kind of person, so I went bam and did it. Not many people can do that. You still can be healthy. Even right now, if you can't go all vegetarian, you still can do something to be healthy. What they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then baby steps. And then my goal, Bobby Buns' goal, is ultimately to get everybody out there, right? Vegan, mostly raw. I mean, think about it.
Just shine the light on somebody.
Gisela,
Yes.
okay, talk to her a little bit because you said you know how I feel about. So how do you feel about like the food? So let's have a conversation about being a vegetarian or not. Being
Me
one.
personally?
Yeah.
All right. Well, because I did have the gastric bypass, and after that, I also had my thyroid removed. I had thyroid cancer, and I became anemic. So it's weird. I don't really eat that much. Okay. So lately, I haven't been hungry, to be honest. So I've been eating fruits and vegetables. There are times where I actually say, I feel like having red meat.
Okay.
Okay. And when I go to the doctor, get my blood checked, my iron's low. So it's almost like my body's looking for that protein, which in my mind is maybe a red steak or something. But, I go for fusions, and I fill that in. But for some reason, I'm not hungry. I did stop drinking. I used to drink a lot of coffee. Now I drink 1 cup a day, and I don't even drink the whole cup. It's like, almost like you say, it's like repetition. I think I have to have the coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
So I make the coffee, and it's funny. I don't even drink the whole thing. I take a few sips just to have it. And I think even that alone helped me lose the 30 pounds because I put creamer in there and 2 Splenda in my coffee. So that's another habit I changed. I added more water and green tea with blueberry or something.
I wish I would have got you before the surgery.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
Even the thyroid, because I don't know. I feel like we should keep our stuff and
I know.
just do it through food.
It's tough. And
So-
because of the thyroid, the doctor removed the gland that he wasn't supposed to. So my calcium is low. So I need a lot
Oh,
of...
you must take like 10 supplements a day of just calcium,
I
right?
take so much.
Because that's
So-
what that happened to my
Yeah.
friend.
So my brother, he was over 600 pounds most of his life since he was born.
What?
Obese as a baby.
Wow.
Okay? So years ago, he was going to get the surgery. He had to go through, it's like a process, right? So it's like
Right.
months of this process and therapy and all this kind of stuff. He went to the same surgeon Al Roca went to. All right? So he was going for his last meeting with them before the surgery. I was impressed with what they told him. He called me up, and I was his go-to person, and called me up very upset, and he was like, I have to come over and I have to talk to you. This is what they told him, which was beautiful to me. They said, Anthony, not many other places do this, but we tell you the truth. Before you get on that table next week, you have to know everything. X amount of people died on the table in the last 2 months. X amount of people died 2 months later. X amount of people. So all this. X amount of people had to have the surgery again. X amount of people. Okay, whatever. They gave him a diet this thick, a book. Do you know what the best diet after the surgery is?
Liquid.
No, vegan, mostly raws.
Oh, wow.
And they
But not right after the surgery.
right
It's all
after the sur-
liquid.
nope,
You
they-
can't have
nope.
anything after the
I'm
surgery.
not talking about like the week.
No, I'm
talking
saying,
about your
like, yeah, right
lifestyle.
after, it's
Yeah,
all-
your lifestyle.
Like a plant-based,
is
a whole
plant-based,
food plant-based.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I was a vegan chef, and he said, "Should I do the surgery?" And I said, "If you think I'm going to make that decision, you're crazy. Because say I say don't do it, and you die of a heart attack tomorrow, I'm going to be upset. Say I say do it, God forbid you die on the table. So I'll tell you what I can offer you. You make the choice. You already know what I would do if it were me." And I will cook for you for the next year.
That's a good idea.
That's what he did. He chose not to have the surgery. My brother's unbelievable. He's about 300 pounds, maybe
that's-
280 now.
That's what I'm so happy you said that,
Yes.
because that's you really just have to change your mind. The surgery's
Yes.
not going to help. All my friends who had the surgery, I'm sorry.
Now, Dr. Fursley said
I'll have
to
you
me-
again.
Yep.
Okay.
Dr. Fursley said to me before the surgery, he goes, remember one thing, I'm changing your inside, but your mind is still going to be the same when you come out.
Yeah.
So you still have to change
There you
habits
go.
after. You can't go back to
There you
old
go.
habits because you'll gain the weight back.
Yeah, that's what I looked at the surgery and I
Yes.
thought it was just, I was
Insane.
like,
I recently lost 50 pounds.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
tell us, talk.
Well, what happened? Well, I was up near 297, right around 297. That was the highest I've ever weighed myself ever. And of course, I was just disgusted with myself, and it was just not me. It's not, my body is not meant to be that heavy. I've always been like stocky, thick, like strong actually, but it got to be where I was just not healthy in any way, shape, or form. I was just eating terrible. And how I did it was I went to my doctor, and my A1C was 9.6. Which is very close to type 2 diabetes. And he said, I have to make some changes. So I started making changes. I stopped drinking any kind of sweet beverages. There's just water. I drank nothing but water. I had a cup of coffee in the morning. That was my vice. And then I drank water all day. I cut out all my breads. There was no breads, no pastas. And I was eating meat, and I wasn't eating perfect. But in less than a year, I went back to my doctor, and I didn't go to him at all because I wasn't sick. I was feeling pretty good, actually, so I never went back to my doctor until I had bronchitis about 2 months ago. And I went back to my doctor and for a Z-Pack, and he ended up making me go over to LabCorp and get my blood drawn. And during that week, I had bronchitis. I was just sick and bad, and after I was feeling better, I looked at my phone, and I noticed he had called me. So I called up to his office, and the nurse said, yes, the doctor wants to speak to you. Hold on. So I had to wait. He was with a patient. I had to wait like 10 minutes. He finally gets on the phone. He goes, Jimmy. I said, hey, Doc, what's up? He said, I don't even know what to say. He said, your A1C went from a 9.6 to a 6.9 in under a year. He said, that's
awesome.
unheard of. He said, you did amazing. So whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I had McDonald's yesterday.
Oh, no.
but I still have my cheat spots, but I really did. I did it just drink of water and eating healthy and a lot less of the breads and the pasta and things like that. And in under a year, I lost over 50 pounds, and my A1C is back to pretty close
That's
to being
really
under
good.
diabetic status.
Nice.
That is
So
really
I want to
good.
talk a little bit about diabetics. So this is important. Everybody out there, really, really listen to what I'm going to say to you, okay? Because my dad shot insulin for probably 15 to 20 years back in the day. He went into an insulin coma in front of us. We had to call 911. They shot Cairo syrup in his veins to get him back. We didn't know. This was a long time ago. My dad passed away a year ago at 84. This was when he was like 60-ish.
What's that noise?
It's probably the vent.
Oh, so we didn't know. So we leave the hospital. I pick him up. He doesn't know it, but I made an appointment with him for Dr. Joel Furman. Dr. Joel Furman is one of the smartest doctors in this country. He's a good friend of mine. He's been on my show. I have a picture of him holding my grandson, who's now 17, at 6 months old. Dr. Joel Furman is one of the most intelligent, right?
Yeah.
Amazing doctors in this country. He's now all natural. He knows the truth about everything. He took my dad off of insulin after shooting insulin all those years in less than 2 weeks through diet. My father did amazing. He's in Dr. Joel Furman's book, Eat to Live. Okay, Gerardo Petito, check it out.
That's so cool.
Okay. Unfortunately, what we didn't know back then, and we're starting to learn all this stuff now, is insulin will cause Alzheimer's. So I couldn't help my father. It was too late. I researched and researched, and I found the connection between between diabetes and Alzheimer's. And I was determined to find out if it was the actual disease or if it was the medication. The number one cause of Alzheimer's, guys, is medication for diabetes. So the good news is diabetes is so easy to fix. If anybody out there is struggling with diabetes and you want to get off the medication, get in touch with me for free. I will tell you how to do it.
Yeah, me
All
too.
right, guys?
Yeah.
Bobby Buns,
You have Raw
Robert
Food
Parker,
City?
Raw Food City.
On YouTube, you
got
message
it?
me. I'll help.
Okay.
Whatever.
We will help. We will help you. Carlo Bolero, you're cracking me up. Listen, he is hysterical with the stuff he's saying. I'm glad your addiction is the Jerry Petito Show. Love you, man. Carlo is an amazing comedian. You guys got to check him out Wednesday night with Gisela. All right? Because every man needs a good woman by his side.
Oh, boy.
That's for sure.
And that's the other thing I'm doing. I'm not doing what he's doing. I'm choosing to do what I want to do. So when we go out, if he wants fast food, he can get it. I don't want it.
Okay.
You know, so I
I
stopped
wanted
doing
to talk
it.
to you about the iron.
Mhm.
All right, so what you're saying is absolutely true.
Yeah.
Our bodies tell us. All right, so our bodies will have us crave things
That we
based on what our body needs.
Mhm.
But there's no way your body's craving meat. What it's craving is iron. It needs something with iron. But because we were ingrained with this is
Right.
how we get our
The
iron.
meat industry,
Yes.
Yep.
So
Protein
dairy
iron.
industry.
and if you can completely feed your cells, guys, the way we're talking, guess what? I haven't had, this is the God's honest truth, okay? I don't crave anything. I haven't craved anything in over 25 years. Like, I don't even know what that means, to crave. My body, you know,
You're
don't know.
content.
My body,
Right.
when I had this accident with my knee a year ago and they had to do an ultrasound and a blood test, I was being me, so I was being a little sarcastic, cute little Indian doctor, and she said, "Sweetie, we have to take your blood." And I go, and I'm in a wheelchair. They're wheeling me around, right?
Right.
And I'm going, "Sweetie, you don't have to take my blood. My blood is beautiful." She goes, "But we have to do it." I'm like, "Okay." And then they gave me an ultrasound. I happen to know the girl doing the ultrasound. She said, "Jerry, do not tell them I showed you the screen or I gave you your diagnosis." She said, "I've never seen anyone at your age, I'll be 58 years old, with veins and blood so clear with the blood. And it's from my diet, the apple cider vinegar, it's from what I do." And then when she came in to tell me about my blood test, she said, "Sweetie, your blood is beautiful." So not one issue, thank you God. I'm not talking about emergencies, car accidents, right? Things like that. That's a whole different thing. That's what they
That's when you
are
go to a
there
doctor.
for. That's when you go to
When
a
you
doctor.
break a leg.
You know, that's what you do. But other than that, no.
And even like you were saying, when you had bronchitis,
Mm-hmm.
Tell 'em.
that doesn't happen anymore.
No.
You don't get sick anymore. I haven't been sick since I started my plant-based journey. It's that goes away. It's weird, Once in a blue moon, you get like a.
Because we're not robots. I mean, but it
You get
goes
like a-
away.
It's all about education. Though. It's like if you don't know where to start, you can't continue. You don't.
Well,
you,
I can.
Yeah.
I
You're
can
always
make
going
a-
to go down the wrong
If
way.
I make a plan.
That's why I said
So if
YouTube.
I make a plan for you, will you start it?
Yeah, of course I will.
You will? Okay. So I want to say this first. Let's talk about dairy, guys.
Oh, that's bad stuff.
Dairy is the biggest culprit for every ear infection, for every allergy, right?
For all
So
Doctors
go
love
ahead.
dairy.
your
Talk.
mucus issues,
Mm.
like bronchitis, like that is like anything when you're coughing up snot all the time.
That's right.
It's dairy.
Thank you. Were we ever
Your
meant
body
to-
also makes it too, doesn't it, Bob?
Maybe-
To
Yes.
somewhat, it makes a little bit.
Well-
And that's added to it.
Well, that's it's your body
Yeah,
protecting
but your body's
itself.
protect. Yeah, it's not. Yes.
Right, right,
Okay. Okay.
right.
It doesn't make it.
You
It
know-
makes it to protect itself.
Right, to protect itself, but
Yeah.
that's added to it.
Okay.
That is the problem with the sinus
You know-
patch
Yeah, as a
and stuff.
singer, they always said if you're having if you're feeling phlegmy or don't have any dairy, no
So,
dairy.
Wait, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Think about how insane that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're a singer,
Right.
they know to tell you, don't have dairy if this is happening.
Right.
That doesn't tell you why have it ever.
Ever.
That this is causing it, so why have it ever?
Exactly.
And on that note, my son Joseph, my middle guy, is allergic to milk. So when he was born, I thought it was the worst thing in the world. I felt sorry for him. But he's 12 years old, and I also have a 7-year-old. My 7-year-old
That's me too,
Oh,
chubby,
12 and
eats
7.
everything. My 12-year-old is so thin, his body's perfect. He looks like he works out. He has like the perfect
He
shaped
does, yeah.
body, and he eats vegetables. He does have grilled chicken.
Okay.
He's not craving any ice cream or anything like that. He has, if he wants tofuti or something, he'll have that. But he's so healthy. I'm like, and I look at him, I'm like, and this kid not ever had milk or soy or anything like that.
He was
He's
So-
blessed.
Milk does not do a body good, Carlo.
Yeah, no.
so
it's so
does
bad.
not. I'm going to tell you where the food pyramid comes from. So everybody thinks that this food pyramid is the way our kids should follow it, and they brought it into the schools.
It's
Okay,
upside down.
so it's a joke
Yeah.
because it was really from the dairy industry as an advertisement. And corporate America got in touch with them and said, listen, we can make a lot of money on these idiots, and let's bring it into the schools. Okay, and that's where the food pyramid
so true.
comes from.
So true.
Right?
It's brainwash. We're brainwashed.
Totally brainwashed because
And generation after generation gets
After
brainwashed
generation.
as well.
But if we really look back on our generations, our grandparents,
Yep.
they really didn't medicate us, and everything was natural remedies, and so they did have the right idea.
They did.
But the future children, we got lazy, and we took the easy way out. So we went to medicine, we went to fast foods and processed foods, and
Well, remember
So
though
we
too,
did.
the dairy cows were eating great grass.
Well-
back then there wasn't a lot of
That's right.
preservatives. Even though the milk was bad
No.
for us, it was
Right.
still
No,
better
but I'll tell you the
than what it
difference.
is today
Wait, wait,
without
wait.
all the toxins.
But I'm going to tell everybody out there because now they're probably thinking, well, my grandmother or grandfather lived to 100 years old and they even smoked and they ate meat, and I'll tell you why.
but the food was different
Okay,
then.
that's right. So this is why, guys. When they lived on their farms, everyone did. They never ate their pig because their pig was only used to clean the farms. A pig is the only animal that cannot ever let toxins out of its skin, and that's why God made the pig, just to clean up the farms. All right? When they slaughtered their cow, that cow was slaughtered for the entire year for about 12 people. They had a tiny little piece this big. That was it. Okay? They didn't have a 12 ounce. They had a tiny little piece. And they didn't cook it to death. They cooked it probably over an open fire, maybe almost with a couple flames. It was mostly raw. The milk was raw.
Yep.
The milk was raw right out of the cow. So it wasn't pasteurized. It wasn't garbage. It wasn't crap. And they didn't just drink the milk. It wasn't like that. They used it for their baking, for their cooking. Okay? So they had a little tiny bit of it, but it was raw. The cows, well, they grazed on grass, sunlight, and they ate grass, and that grass that had the protein in it. Okay, these big cows, these animals were vegetarians. Think about that, guys. So they needed the grass to get the protein from the grass into their meat, so that real protein was now given to the family. Little tiny bit like this again. All right? And the sunlight, the vitamin D. So the meat was healthy and kind of normal for them, right? A little bit. Now today, these cows aren't even allowed to graze on grass. There is no sunlight. They're given GMO soy and GMO corn, and they have to cut the poison out of these cows' stomachs.
They're jacked with hormones.
There you go.
They have they're filled with cancer.
That's right.
The craziest part is I always tell people, I was like,
beef.
I know for a bit when I owned the business, you had to cut corners. You had to. So when that retarded cow comes down the line. I'm sorry about the retarded word, but when that cow comes down, it's filled with cancer. It's going into the same chopping bin
guys.
as the other ones. They're not putting that one aside and going, you look pretty sick. We're gonna slaughter you and put you off. We're just you're eating that. Or they're cutting around it. The butchers cut around the cancer now. You see those videos?
Yeah, but do you know what they've done with the stuff they used to discard around the stomach? They used to discard that. Now they don't, because now
nothing gets discarded.
Now they put it through bleach to kill more of it, and then they put food coloring in it, and that's
Hot
one.
dogs.
But listen to me, guys. 100% of your ground beef in this country today is that.
Yeah, you're just getting, and they're sweeping the floors.
That's
Rats, rodents, stuff like that. That's going in the same bin.
Okay.
It's weight.
It doesn't matter.
There's sometimes like other animals, like deer or something weird, will just fall and die in what do you call it? That's going in the bin. It's you know what I'm saying?
How about the people that slip and fall and go in?
That too, man. You're definitely getting a finger in there once in a while.
So let's talk about GMOs. Guys, if anybody wants to call, 609-807-2492. Okay, we'll give everybody an opportunity with one question. Anybody wants to call one question, call in. GMOs, okay?
That's all they're eating. So now you're eating it.
Okay.
I know when I pick up fruits and veggies, I could see it.
You don't want it to be pretty, do you?
Like, I don't, when you see like a wilted piece of romaine, you know it's no good anymore. It's dead. You don't know what you're eating.
No.
When you're eating meat. You do not know that animal. Now, if you were feeding that animal, 100% different. Like if it was your chicken you're eating the chicken's eggs, go ahead.
That's right.
You're feeding that cow all day. You know that cow. That cow is like your friend, and you wind up murdering it for your family. Then that's fine because you know the cow. You know what that cow is eating, but nobody knows shit.
That's right.
At least like if you have a tomato in your hand, you're like, this tomato doesn't look that great, or there's some tomatoes that are good and some that aren't, and at least you get a choice. With meat, you're not getting a choice, and especially if you're eating ground meat like Wendy's and stuff like that. Like that, you're absolutely just
crazy.
That's suicide every single time you go there. You're
Crazy.
just like, who the hell knows what I'm eating? You could just be straight eating tuna.
Crazy.
Can I get a tuna? Can I get a number one?
Oh my God. Hey, Ralphie. I want to give a shout out to everyone out there. Okay, I just want to say hi to all of you guys. Thank you for watching the show. Share the video. If it doesn't get taken down, we will have the YouTube one up. Don't worry. Okay, guys? So I hope this video can definitely help someone. That's our goal. That's our goal.
That's
even
it.
if we can help one person, right, Bob?
One person. And that was the biggest thing for me. Like, you were like, well, what do I do for help? It's out there. Believe me, if you want it, there's so much help out there. And YouTube is such a great thing. Because you could get it's not just regular YouTubers like regular Joe's telling you what to do. There's doctors out there like Furman and McGregor and all these amazing.
I think I saw him on PBS the other night. He had a special
Furman?
one. A Friedman or
Furman.
Furman was
Furman's
that?
always on PBS.
Tall, thin guy.
That's my guy.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he was terrific. I was listening to him. Very fascinating. He has a whole package out there. It shows you everything on how on healthy living.
He's got it,
and he's a pegan though. He says he's a pegan, not a
because he's big into beans and
and
onions
yes.
and
That's
stuff
right.
like that. Yeah.
I have to tell you a Joel Furman story because this is unbelievable and this is how great this man is. So my granddaughter's never been vaccinated. My daughter makes all her own food. Everything is grown. Everything is organic. This child, so healthy, it's unbelievable. Okay, my grandson's never been vaccinated, but when he turned, I think 11 or 12, he's 17 now, Tiffany allowed him to make his own choices, and that's okay because the 7 to 10 years of a child's life will determine their health, guys. Okay, and we know he's coming back to it. We know that already. So this is what happened. My daughter's at work. My My grandson was sick for a few days, normal cold, right? They wouldn't let him back in school without a doctor's note. So he had to get the doctor's note. So my daughter-in-law was with my brother with them and said, come on, let's take her to get her little exam. This was about a year ago. And she had a cough for a couple days as well. I was with her the day before. So what? You ready for this? The doctor tells my daughter-in-law she's got walking pneumonia and needs a nebulizer. So she calls my daughter. My daughter calls me hysterical. I'm laughing on the phone. I said, calm down. Number one, no, she doesn't. I was just with her yesterday. And number two, that's not an option. I'm calling Furman now. My brother's in the car with them. I call Furman. He doesn't really even see too many patients anymore, right? He's got a staff. I call him on his cell phone. I said, Doc, this is the situation. He goes, tell your brother, get that baby to the office now. I will be there personally. He goes into the office for us. He says, not only does this baby not have walking pneumonia, she doesn't even have pneumonia or a cold. She will be fine. Take her home. She's okay. He didn't even charge us. Now tell me that's not an amazing man, what he did right there.
Wow.
Dr. Joel Furman, guys, he's out of Pennington. I'm not kidding. Okay? So that other doctor did not care that he was going to risk my baby's life and do that. All right? And if we didn't know better, she would have been on that. Right?
Yeah, just breathing in that
They
crap.
don't care. It doesn't matter. They don't care. Don't listen to them. Question everything. Call us.
That's a good point, Bobby. There's another thing. Now, when you go on YouTube,
Yeah.
just like doctors, okay? That doctor, there's two doctors right there with two vastly different,
Yeah.
ideology on what was wrong with her granddaughter, okay? It's the same thing on YouTube where you're gonna run into people giving you advice that's gonna. This is why I was saying.
Well, you have to believe.
Specific, you could be steered down the wrong road unintentionally.
Yeah.
But it's.
To me, it was really just common sense. Like, I just knew that you were able to heal yourself. I knew the body was able to heal.
Right.
And that's what sent me on this whole journey, because my brother, I knew I could heal my brother.
Right.
I knew it from every and I just and everyone thought I was the quack.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you believe in that, knowing that plants is what's gonna save you, make you a kid again, because it happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening to so many people. It's literally, I was 70 years old, I felt like 2 years ago, and now I'm 18 again.
Stuart Austin, thank you, darling. Stuart's a good friend of mine, and he's out there saying, great show. Love you, Stuart. He's watching.
Stu. Yeah, so plants, man. That's why.
But I
It's
want to
just
say
plants.
something to that, too.
God's food.
No, but I want to say something to what you said, Jimmy, because what you're saying is right, okay? But here's the thing that I want to say to people. All right, there's not a person out there today with all this information, right? I didn't have it. You had it pretty much. I didn't have it.
Yeah, you really searched for
I
it.
went to Russia on hell tours. I mean, I had to go out of the country my whole life. I mean, for 25 years, right? I was traveling. You guys have YouTube.
You got the
guys
red
have
carpet.
Google. You guys, there's so much. There's not a person out there really, if you really think about it deep, deep, deep down, that doesn't know a little bit of the truth. They know if they smoke, it's bad for you, and they're still doing it. They know if they drink too much, it's bad for you, and they're still doing it. They know if they take 6 antibiotics, if they take 4 different prescriptions, they know there's side effects to them. They don't care. They don't even question them. The best is this. When I'm working with someone, and this I hear all the time, okay? I was working with someone about a month ago who was on 5 different meds, and I said, email me the med you're on, and we're going to talk about these, whatever, and I can put you on these 2 herbs or vitamins. What do you think they asked me? What do you think?
Oh, I don't
about
know.
the herbs or vitamins that I wanted to put them on. What do you think they asked?
Will it heal me?
No. How about this? Well, are there any side effects?
Are there any side effects?
Listen, I cracked up. I said, let me tell you the 1,000 side effects on your 5 meds. No, there are no side effects. Okay? I talked to a woman at Whole Foods who was doing one of those tasters. She was a taste, right? She let you taste, what do you call those? What do you call it?
Samples.
Sampler lady, right? Okay, whatever. So it was some sort of something. I don't even know what it was. I don't remember. And she stopped me, and I'm going to talk to her, right? And I was like, is this organic? You know, blah, blah, blah. Well, is it non-GMO? Blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, I don't know, but it says natural. I said, well, let me tell you the truth about what natural means. But I respected her. You want to know why? She said, I really appreciate the insight, but you know what? My favorite food is Burger King. I'll never stop eating it, and I don't care.
Wow.
And I hugged her, and I said, I respect you.
Good luck.
No, but I said, I respect you. Because I'm okay with that. That's her choice. We all have choices. But what I can't respect is when people abuse their bodies, then, God forbid, they get really sick or they get a cancer, and they blame God, and they can't understand how it happened. That I can't respect, because every single one of us deep down knows McDonald's can't be healthy. All this sugar can't be healthy, right? Addictions can't be healthy.
I was depressed every time I ate.
Okay? You get
Every
depressed.
single time I ate.
That's amazing. Yep.
Like food that I knew I wasn't supposed to eat, it was full-blown depression. It was like that happy minute, and then full-blown depression afterwards, going, why did I eat that?
How
I
about
know
we-
exactly what you mean. I did it. I mean, when I was eating nothing but healthy in my book, healthy, in my mind anyway. As soon as I ate something like that, like fast food, I felt like crap. And immediately, you just feel like you want to throw up or something. You just felt sick to your stomach.
Just like depressed and new, and that's what the beauty was, because when you're eating fruits and when you're eating God's food, you know it's okay.
It's just unbelievable.
So you just fill up on that and everything's okay. And then you start losing weight and you start feeling great and everything happens. And all of a sudden you're feeling the sun and you're out looking for the ocean and you're breathing air and you're 18 again. You're looking to go outside and you're everything. You're happy. You're in love. You're just saying hello to your children. You want to do things. It's boom. Just from your diet.
He's a poker player as well, and he also won a lot of money, so he's a great poker player. I was at one of my games, running one of my games. Marquee Minor, I still love you. Okay, this young guy from Trenton, okay? The first time I ever met him, I don't know these people. I'm taking this league over. I go into Trenton, right? There's all these young guys, partying, whatever. His pants are down to here. I go behind him. I pull up his pants. Well, we ended up loving each other from that moment on. He says to me one day, years later, why are you always happy? Stop being so happy. Geri, it's not even possible. How could somebody be so happy? I said, it's my diet. Okay, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that.
Yeah. It's just, and it keeps you like with this cloud. That's the thing. The cloud blows away.
It does.
They say that. There's like you're always in this fog. Once you start eating living food and filling up on that, the cloud goes away.
That's right.
And it only takes a few days.
That's right.
It really does. Like you'll start seeing it, especially if you're fasting.
So,
you want a fast cloud? You want an instant cloud? 4 days on a fast.
What I want to talk about, so people really understand the depth of all this, is I want to talk about the gene pool, and then I want to talk about all right, let's talk about the gene pool first, because then that'll just kind of go into it. People say this to me also, all right?
It's in my genetics.
There you go.
No, you could change that instantly.
But what are genetics? Let's talk about that. Because, and I think, Jimmy, I think you and
We did talk
we
yesterday,
talked
I
about
think,
this,
yesterday,
right? And
yeah.
I made a good point. If you think about my families, so we have my dad's family and we have my mom's family. My mom's family, everyone, except for I think one person, ended up dying in their 60s, gone. Heart disease, colon cancer, breast cancer, all of it. My real grandmother died at 26, I think she was, of breast cancer. My mom's real mother. I mean, like on and on and on. Okay, my mother's 69, her 9th heart attack. Okay, all obese, all mentally challenged. I mean, crazy people, okay? My dad's family, on the other hand, except for my dad, who did end up dying, even with diabetes and Alzheimer's, 84 years old. All his siblings are still alive. My nonna died at 100, and his oldest sister is in her 90s now. I mean, it's amazing. And they all still have it mentally, every one of them. Okay, my dad was the only one who took on also an American diet, you see? So the gene factor, well, it was in their genes, but this is what people don't understand. The gene factor comes from their food source, what they do. So my mother's family were all miserable people, not happy, ever, constantly depressed and hurting others and in jail. And I'm not kidding, and I could say that, okay? Their food was horrendous. So the gene goes from generation to generation to generation. My dad's family are all farmers, all from Italy, blah, blah, blah. Their genes went from generation to generation to generation. Healthy genes, unhealthy genes. Here I am to tell you, you could break that cycle because I had a little bit of both. Okay? So I did it. I didn't just sit back and say, well, it's in my genes. No, I said, it is in my genes. That's why I'm going to do something different, and I'm not going to do what my mother's family did. They all went to their doctors and all had their whatever, and they're all dead. So I changed it. Right?
Yep. Bologna, tomatoes.
There you go.
Everyone's gray bologna.
It has a first name, you know.
My bologna has a first name. I love that. These young people don't know what you just said, though, Jim.
Oh, and those.
Oop.
Oh man, I know. And even back then,
ahead,
probably
Tom.
when that commercial was around, you could probably get a good piece of bologna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not anymore, man. Now it's just like chemically mush.
Packaged, right?
Ricardo Richard, hey everybody, hey Maureen, love you, hey everybody, hey Ray.
I used to eat hot dogs cold.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like 17.
Angela Ditt is watching. That is my cousin. She is on my dad's side, and she probably just heard me mention her mom. Her mom is in her 90s.
Wow.
Okay? And still has it. Cuz if you want to call in, girlfriend. Okay? So anyway, so talk about the bologna. Let's talk about that for 1 minute. All right? Because back then, it probably was a real piece of meat.
Yeah, that turned into mush.
You know?
Yeah, it wasn't like,
know?
machine altered, I guess.
know?
I don't know. Who
Everything
knows?
is-
It was probably some guy smashing it with a hammer. Nowadays, you're just getting, I don't know, who the hell knows.
It's crazy.
It's scary. But that's the thing, too. Like, they have to cut corners. Owning a business in New York City, if I didn't cut corners, I would have been broke.
Okay.
So so you have to. I took that knowledge and said, "Wow, everything makes sense now." Just from owning a business really helped me see what they're most likely up to, because the way our system is based, it's like, I wish I was able to pay a few bucks to a gangster back, and not have to deal with the 20 gangsters I have to deal with today.
Okay.
Like
All
with the
right.
state, the Fed, the state, the city, everybody wants a piece.
Absolutely.
You need an A in your window now, like you
Right.
write you up. Oh, you got a wire hanging
Yeah,
here.
how about grease my palm and I'll give you the A?
So everyone is gangster.
Yep.
But man, I sometimes I wish it was the 50s where I used to pay Tony.
That's right.
And Tony would handle everything.
That's right.
All right.
Yo, Tony.
Tony, listen. I'm giving you 20% of my shit. Let's handle this guy.
Well, I have 10 brothers, 4 sisters, and I'll tell you, feeding that many kids is a hard thing to do for a factory worker's wage. It's a hard thing to do. Mom wasn't working. She took care of the house. So I mean, and a lot of families, I think, and it's even worse today because we pay for our water now. We pay for television. We pay for phones. We pay for everything. Everything. The government and
It's scary.
The corporate wants their share.
It's
and
scary.
hot dogs is sometimes all people can afford.
Yeah.
It really
And
is.
to
It's a
keep
shame.
you sick
And
and
it's a
to
shame.
keep you broke and to keep.
right.
And that's how the government's going to keep us.
Do you know there's
Sick.
trillionaires out there?
Oh yeah.
Do you know that one trillionaire could literally change
Absolutely.
the world by divvying up his share? Like I don't know, like everything's so screwed up, and I know once we hit the 10% mark, once the plant-based world hits the 10% mark, and we start healing ourselves and stuff like that, it's gonna tip.
Yeah, but a lot of
This whole system's gonna
but a
fall
lot
apart.
of doctors are also
Well, I know,
threatened.
but
and-
it's gonna
yes,
tip
it's got to.
as soon as it hits the
It's got
10%
to.
mark.
So let's talk
We're
about
there. We're like 1%.
let's talk about people who can't afford to eat really healthy. All right? Because I know they're out there, of course. This is what I tell them. Start one day. Okay? Don't buy the box of donuts. Don't buy the box of cereal, or buy the healthier box of cereal and start eating smaller amounts. I mean, there's a way. Listen, there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way.
I would just say buy bananas.
Okay, of course.
They're so cheap.
But they're not going to do that. So, and a lot of these people, not all, but some of these people that can't afford to eat healthy, I'm sorry, they're gambling. Okay, I know someone that couldn't eat healthy. He lost everything at the track. Okay? So you got to remember, I'm also in that world with all these people, so I see it all. I see people who can't afford it, but they get their nails done. I see people who can't afford it and they smoke. I see people who can't afford it, but they have that beer. They will have that beer every single night.
Or an $800 phone.
Okay, or an $800
Yeah.
phone. Okay, so, but then there's the people that really, really, truly can't afford it. So listen, you're right. Buy a bunch of bananas. Have that as your breakfast. See, once you start making these small changes, your body's going to thank you for it, and you're going to not believe how hungry you're going to be. Supermarkets, they don't care. Let me tell you what they've done. So when you walk into a supermarket and your child is sitting in the cart, they've marketed that as well. Your child, the eye, right, where the child can see, right where all the sugared boxes are, so that that child can see them. So Amazon took over Whole Foods, okay? I've complained 50 times already at Whole Foods, and listen, all the managers are my friends, and they agree with me. They did do one thing for me. I went in there one day, and I'm in the produce section, and they had shrimp in one of the, what do you call it, iced freezers on wheels as a sale, right when you walked into the produce. And then they had cases of soda all lined up on the wall. I flipped out. I said, I want the manager now. They came down. I said, get it out of there. I said, we will all go. I have a radio show. I'm not kidding you. I will destroy you people. People don't want to. I did. I said, people don't want to come here anyway because Amazon, listen, I'm not kidding. I said, everyone will go to Trader Joe's. No, you're right, Joe. You're right. So a couple days later, I went back in. They did take the soda and they took the shrimp out. So then a couple other things happened. And, you know, so they're putting now the meat they had. What do you call the big burgers? What are those? Pot roasts? What do you call those things? Meatloafs.
Meatloaf.
They had a cutting board with my artichokes here, all here, and they had 3 giant meatloafs cut. And all this stuff was going into them. I said, I want the manager now. Oh, yeah. So then the next day, the other manager called me, and he was like, keep my number in your phone. You're 100% right. I'm going to go crazy back there. I said, yep. Imagine that. It's like they don't care about us anymore. We're the ones that make them make money. Okay? The average person that goes to ShopRite is not going to go there. They should worry about us.
Yeah. Oh, man.
The bottom line is this, guys. We don't want anybody out there to think if you can't go all raw, you can't be healthy. We don't want anybody out there to think if you can't become a vegetarian, you can't be healthy. We don't want anyone out there to think if you don't become a vegan, you can't be healthy, because that's not true. You will be your healthiest you could ever be going all raw. Then second comes, you will be the healthiest you could ever be becoming vegan. All right? As much organic as possible, non-GMO. And if you want to eat a little bit of meat, it's not the end of the world if you eat a little bit of it and it's a good meat. All right, guys? Try to get a healthier meat, a healthier option for it.
Yeah, just wheel it down a little bit.
You know?
That's it, like, you know, because
You know?
it's just really about the whole foods and the plants, you know.
That's right.
And
majority.
then when you really want to take it to the next level, you stop cooking those whole foods and
Yes.
plants. So
Yes.
it's that. It's like
Yes.
bring in that first. It's all over the place. You cannot not find it. It's everywhere. Look, every single documentary that's out there now, when it comes to foods and farms and everything else, they are recommending a whole food plant-based diet. And it'll cure you from heart disease. It'll cure you from cancer. It'll do
Everything.
instant.
Diabetes. Instant.
If somebody gets like a heart issue or any type of like high blood pressure or anything, you go on a whole food plant-based diet, it's gone. By the way, that's
No
the
kidding.
cure. They found the cure for heart disease.
But they don't want to tell you.
I mean, it's out there. I mean, the doctor's still going to prescribe you some bullshit dinner.
Sign me up.
But whole
signing
food
you up.
plant-based diet is instant. You lose weight and your heart
All right.
is pounding like
So,
a young boy.
I think we have a challenge here. What do you think, Bobby?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Who's in down there?
I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in.
Are you in?
I'll be in.
All right, so
I'll
listen,
try.
we're coming back. Raw Food City, we're coming back the second Tuesday of next month, second Tuesday of the month after, and so forth until the year. We're going to, we
So
might continue.
from today on, you think you could do a whole food
Well,
plant-based
let me
diet?
ask you, whole food plus. I was just going to ask you a question before she even said that. What do you think about? My mouth is dry all the time,
I can tell you what you're going to drink.
and I know the doctor's been saying
Water.
green tea.
Okay, I'll tell
all
you
that
what to
stuff,
drink.
So I don't know.
I'm going to tell you guys an amazing, amazing mixture, and it was because of this mixture that I've been doing,
this
guys,
is so good.
for 27 years that my blood is beautiful. All right, so you're going to get,
ACV.
get raw organic honey or local honey if you can get it, because you want a little bit of a sweetener, and that's what I use.
Do not get the CVS
No.
Bear
No.
because that's not honey.
No.
You got to get
You
the.
look on the back, it has a foreign country on the back.
So
of the
either
bottle.
do not.
get raw organic or, listen carefully, local honey that's real honey. But I can help you with telling you what's real honey or not. So anyway, I have it down to a science now, guys. So I have a 3-pound jar, okay? I put an inch of honey on the bottom of this jar. I fill the jar halfway with hot water and I stir it. So that I put aside. Then I take 8 tea bags of organic green tea and I put them in a little cup with hot water and I let them seep for like 3 hours. Okay? Then I pour that in there and I take the tea bags out. All right? Then, Bragg's apple cider vinegar. You will get 4 applications out of this bottle. So I have it down to a perfect science. You're going to use a quarter of the jar, pour it into that mixture. Then Santa Cruz, unbelievable. They have organic, 100%, one ingredient in their lemon and lime juice bottles. Okay? That's all that's in there. Not lime juice or lemon juice. No. This one. One thing, lemon, pure. You can't ever, ever, ever squeeze that many lemons and keep it that long if you bought organic lemons. A quarter of those jars. So now each jar is going to last you 4 weeks. Okay? So you have a week's worth of this mixture, and I gave you some. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
So now you use that, and you put it in the bottom of either a cold glass and add cold water for cold tea, or you put some in the bottom because it's concentrate.
You could fast with that too.
Yes. Hot water, and you could drink it all week long.
Yeah.
How's that, guys?
Nice.
That's all
sounds
I'm
delicious,
doing.
though.
It will, listen, you don't understand what it will do to your blood. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And if you really
Would I
want to
mess it
step
up
it
with
up,
a mint leaf?
Of course you can. Put a mint leaf in it as long
Sounds
as,
like it would go good.
but
with
it
a
better
mint
be an organic one if you put it in my mixture.
And no vodka. No, I'm okay.
I don't recommend intermittent fasting for women. There's something with the cycle or something. But
Oh.
for men, if you did like 8 hours a day of an eating window, like from 2 to 10 or 1 to 9, and you did a plant-based diet and you had that drink in the mix too, my goodness, by the next Tuesday, the second Tuesday, you're gonna be like on fire.
Really?
Yeah, So you
Is
like
that a good thing? Or?
you do the whole. I mean, you're gonna be lit up. You're gonna feel like a different human.
Right.
So if you, but I don't want to overwhelm you with the intermittent
No.
fasting. But a whole food plant-based diet with that drink, and you with that drink, forget about it. Like that's better than oh my god.
Yeah.
And
Because
then-
that's not really blueberry.
I
you know
don't
that.
like it.
Anything that
Right
smells
now.
like that is
So-
not
But for
blueberry.
you guys, what they'll start with this, as all raws, right? As much as you could do raws,
Yeah. Have
This
as many
drink-
salads.
right? If you need some steamed veggies, that's fine. Let's do plant-based. Let's start
Yeah,
there
yeah,
with them.
full, just
For
a
1 month and
plant-based
see what
diet.
happens.
Cook your own rice, quinoa,
Okay?
beans,
See
onions,
what happens.
garlic. You know,
Right.
have fun with spices. Go crazy.
Right.
As long as it's you making it. That's the thing. It's the
Okay.
prep.
Right.
It's gotta be.
Right.
Once you work that into your system, like always have for the next day too.
Oh, I cook for a week. Oh no,
Yeah,
I
like,
cook for a week.
I always because you know
My food is for a week. So.
yeah, always prep.
So-
That's the hardest thing is prep because everything is so fast nowadays. So but during that prep time, think of you. Change your mind. Say, oh God, I don't want to make this juice. This is a pain in the ass. Think, oh God, I'm gonna make this juice. I feel so
Yeah.
great. This is like the best thing in the world.
right.
Like you just got to change the way you
So
think
now, what do you
about it.
think about? I know you said all liquid and stuff. What do you think about yogurt? I know you said no dairy.
No dairy, but there are amazing yogurts out there.
Yeah.
Especially there's Did you know that GT came out with the kombucha company came out with a coconut almond yogurt
I have
that's
it.
off
It's in
the
my
charts.
fridge.
Yeah.
It's in my fridge. My daughter got it. I'm like, it's amazing.
it's coconut almond.
It's coconut
It's
almond,
amazing.
but it's real yogurt.
Yes.
There's no dairy, so
Yep.
there's some.
Is there calcium in those?
So here's the thing about calcium.
Because
Yeah.
that's
All
what
right,
I
so let me
need.
tell you about calcium real quick, and
Leafy
then
greens.
we're gonna close the shit. We have to.
Go ahead.
Okay, calcium. You cannot get calcium from dairy. Dairy will deplete your bones of calcium.
Yeah, it
They
eats
do it on
calcium.
purpose so that you're gonna need to take. Okay, blah blah blah. All your greens will give you more calcium. Gisela, trust us on
Broccoli.
this. If you did
Yeah,
what
that I
we're
know.
saying, I'm not kidding you. You will not have one problem.
Yeah, you'll be
So
shining.
listen, 4 weeks of your lives, guys, right? In 4 weeks, we're going to come back here and we're going to have some more photos done.
You guys want to?
All right.
You should jump on scales too. Like do everything tonight.
All right.
Take
I
some
have no
pictures.
scale.
I
like
took the
this.
pictures. I got their photos before you got here.
Oh, cool.
I got each one separately on purpose.
Nice.
Okay?
And unfortunately,
I
I
was
know how much I
232
weigh because
the
I go to
other
the
day,
doctor every week.
So, all right. Guys, we're coming to the close of the show. I want to say thank you to everybody out there who's watching. If we have an issue with the show being taken off, don't worry. We're going to grab it off of YouTube and put it back. Okay, guys? So it was an amazing, enlightening show. I want to thank my guests, Jimmy. Thank you for coming because
Thanks
I
for having me,
know
Jerry.
Jimmy.
I know you can do this. I know you can do
Absolutely.
this. And we're going to I know
I'm
you can
stubborn.
do this.
You know me, Jerry.
Okay.
Long time.
All right, so
Nice.
I know we can do this. Gisela, well, you know I love you. Forget
I know
that.
you do.
So you're beautiful inside and out, girl. But I just want to make you healthier.
Thank you.
Bobby Buns, baby.
Yo.
Raw Food City, Bobby Buns.
Yeah. I'm down.
All
Down.
right, all right.
down,
This is going to
baby.
be
I'm down so much.
amazing.
I'm up,
He
I'm
came all the
down
way
so
from
much weight,
Thailand. No,
and now I'm up so much.
So much, right?
Now I just constantly give back because
That's our job.
it's
That's our job.
it's totally. I feel good doing it.
Okay, that's right. That's our
Yeah,
job.
I feel so good being alive, knowing that there are other people that I could help.
That's right.
I don't say this often, and it's kind of weird, but I hope next time I see you, I'm a lesser man.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. So everybody, we're going to close out with a poem I wrote. Imagine that. Okay. So balance is key. A healthy outlook begins with you. A life fulfilled is up to you too. A healthy diet is where you start, but a healthy mind is the major part. Thoughts are wired to make you think, but your actions can make you sink. So keep all your thoughts uplifting and real. Feeding your mind crap will destroy how you feel. Maintain a balance in all that you do. Your sanity, my friend, is all up to you. The U.S. food plate isn't quite right. Makes you think it's all in your bite. Yes, food is so major in keeping us well, but our outlook on life is really the tell. For you to be healthy, it's not just your food. Your thoughts should be stable to control your good mood. Some are vegan, some eat meat. Whatever your choice, make your life complete. Processed foods and lots of sugar, tainted food, chemicals galore. Eliminating these things first will be fighting half the war. Our relationships, our jobs, finances, and our views. Contentment in our lives depends on what we choose. So know your worth. It all starts there. Some use meditation, others use prayer. You are in charge of life choices you make. Keeping them healthy is your journey to take. Stress is a killer. Such havoc it brings, because health issues, amongst other things. To avoid being stressed, take it from me, we are in control. Our outlook's the key. I've been through a lot, I'm sure you have too. Having a pity party will make you feel blue. So put on a smile and fake it at first. I promise you this, a real smile will burst. What we filter in plays a really big part. Our entertainment is key. Lifts us up or tears us apart. Music is said to define who you are. The kind you are listening to really matters by far. If you're looking to find what your life's destined to be, it's all up to you, friend, 'cause you own the key. On that note, ciao, everybody.
Peace.